Hello, this is Sculpt January number 19, and the topic was Lovecraftian. And I must admit I had to look that up. So it's from the Lovecraft novels. It seems that Lovecraft was a very inspirational, influential novelist, mainly writing sort of horror style and genre, and it seems that his work has been an inspiration for many other things. So I actually used metaballs for a change. Someone said about metaballs on my channel, and that's the workflow that they use, so I thought that'd be fantastic. I'll give that a go. And it probably was a little bit quicker to make the base mesh, so it's something I'll probably use again. So I used the metaballs to sort of do an arm and a leg, and then spliced it or bisected it down the middle, and then mirrored it across so that I could have an easy mirror for my sculpting. I think it's important to try something new each time, so the metaballs was my new thing this time. The initial sculpt seemed quite fast now. I think I'm getting used to the process and used to the detail level to use and things like that. And I was having quite a lot of fun doing this crazy monster and just randomly putting shapes and blobs and horns and spikes in, and then thinking that didn't work, undo that, try something else. And the shape is with the thought that it's going to be rigged, so I'm going to put a rig underneath it and position it into a more interesting stance with the bones. The problem with that is that because it's only a decimate, it's not proper retopology, and I'm not doing any weight painting, so the poses can't be too far away from the original pose, otherwise you get lots of distortion in the mesh without proper weight painting and topology. But one day maybe I'll retopologize them. I was having lots of fun with the inflate tool as well. I haven't used that very much, but it's a very useful tool just when you get topology that's gone too flattened. You can quickly inflate it with the inflate tool. It's good for doing fingers and things. And I was using it to do these weird sort of pustules that are coming out of him. If ever you mess your mesh up like I just did, then you can always put the subdivisions down, or the detail level down, paint over it, and that will paint over and sort of reorganize your mesh, and you'll be able to smarten it up. And then you can put it back to the high detail and keep sculpting. The whole project took quite a while this time. I was having loads of fun, so I just sort of was pottering about, sitting down in front of the TV and just doing weird random shapes on this body, and that was great fun. The time-consuming bit this time was actually the baking the normals. For some reason I kept getting the error circular reference in texture stack. I've had that error before, and sometimes it's because Blender thinks it's sharing the same texture, which it certainly wasn't, and I couldn't figure it out. It took ages. I think it may actually be that my computer wasn't powerful enough, as I was using my Mobile Studio Pro. When I got it home and tried it there, it seemed to work without too much problems, although I did seem to have the same error message, but for other reasons. It can be a really frustrating process, the baking. I have tried taking the models out and putting them in programs like XNormal, which have been good at times and then bad at others, just completely failed. Sometimes works other times. So I'm still not used to and happy with baking just yet. I am using an awful lot every day at the moment, and I'm still getting glitches and problems, so maybe one day I'll get there. It is tough though. Sometimes you're not sure whether it's your computer messing up, or user error, or my Macs at college, they just come up with weird glitches in Blender all the time, and I just say restart the program and it seems to work again. So very frustrating at times. You can see I've really upped the detail level now, and I'm smoothing things out and putting in lots of lines. I could have gone on for hours with this, it was just such fun, but I knew I had to stop sooner or later, and I've got other work to do. And I still got to do the bones and baking out the textures, which can sometimes take time. So I was getting more and more happy with the shape, and I was thinking maybe I'd put lots of veins in it, and all the muscle fibres could sort of be sticking out of his flesh and things. But I just went with the inflate tool eventually and started making sort of spots. Also, this is still all symmetrical, and I would have liked to have gone off a little bit more with the asymmetry, so pull things around and given him some more distortion and character, but I was really running out of time. So little spots and big spots. The inflate tool is great, especially if you've got a high level of detail. You can just paint in a circle and they pop out. And here I am with symmetry turned off, making some more sort of weird pustules and bubbles and things. It certainly adds more character when you've got symmetry turned off, because it gives it more of a natural form. Remember to try different met caps, make sure your shape's working and not too detailed. I thought that one pustule could have a little tentacle coming out of it. So there we go, that was the model. So I'm getting the rig together now. I'm just building the rig. It's fairly quick and basic, this, so just simple and obvious positions. I rig the tail as well. I'm not a master rigger or anything, so I'm keeping it simple. And then just duplicating the arms and legs and scaling them in the x-axis -1, and that sort of mirrors them. I didn't include the baking process. It was very long and tedious and quite annoying. I thought it had worked, and then I realised it hadn't when I attached my normals in a second, and then I turn it off and try and figure out what on earth is going wrong. Yes, like I say, it can be an extremely frustrating process, that one. It can give some great results as well. I haven't really had to texture much except for baking out, and I've still got some reasonable results for not doing any painted textures. As you can see now, it's just not looking right, and I'm thinking that normal map is not doing a great job at all. And there we go. I thought I'd put the nodes up on the screen just so you could see it, but I didn't want to record the whole process of me trying to figure out what on earth was going wrong. So there it is, the final piece. I've got an emission shader added to the cavity map to make it look weird and wonderful. It was good fun, this one. I'm still enjoying it, but getting more and more tired, I think, each day. It certainly is a really good experience, so I can recommend it to anybody, and I feel like I've learnt a lot and got better throughout the month. Thanks ever so much again for your support. I love all the comments. It's really great to see that the artwork's being appreciated. So thanks again. The links are in the description, so get along to Sculpt January. I'll see you there.